Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Welcome. Welcome back. Welcome back. So, it is again Friday the 13th. I am back on again Aquamoon Fairy on Instagram, and I want to talk about everything is inverted. I am hoping Instagram does let you guys know that I'm here. I'm also going to put this on YouTube. But, yeah. I don't know why they haven't been telling my friends. But it's okay. I want to jump into it. Everything is inverted. Now I'm remembering all the stuff I wanted to say about gender for the gender video. But that's okay. Stay on the inversion topic here. So everything, like, let's just think of whatever you can think of. Like, of course, north, south, east, west, right? The sun rises in the east and sets, rises in the west, sets in the east, rises in the east, sets in the west. So if it rises in the east and sets in the west, it's going counterclockwise. Inversion. So could it be that the clock itself, instead of going this way, is supposed to go like this, from sunrise to sunset? I mean, the ages go backwards, and I think that might be actually supposed to go forward. When I say the ages, we're in the age of Aquarius. We were in the age of Pisces. So we're literally going Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn. We're going down. But why are we not in Aries age? Like, Aquarius age after Pisces age makes sense. It does for what's happening, what's going on. But what I mean is, don't the wheel go the other way? So everything else. So that's why I say that one might be right and everything else is inverted. But here's what I do know. When you wake up from your illusions, Pisces delusions, you want to be a baby again. That's what I noticed in the collective. This is not an individual tag or dagger at Pisces, but in the age of belief, where we were believing in religions and telling lies to our visions, and in those ages, like when you wake up from those deceits, deceptiveness, you're angry, you go through like the stages of grieving, and you kind of regress emotionally. You want to be a baby. That's what I noticed on the collective. At the more information that comes out, Aquarius age information, some people really want to regress. It's like a retrograde. They really want to go back into being, who am I, right? Because you kind of like, hello, I just got rattled, shaken. And so they want to regress to believe they're the victim, which is still Pisces. But then they want to be like, angry, selfish, rational, act out in life. So this thing is happening between Aquarius, Pisces, and Aries on the collective. We're dancing back between those three energies. So that's a lot of why the timelines happen with the events here, especially in America, which impact the whole world. All of these things happen at the time they do, or seem dragged out, because they can't tip the scale too much to like the cause of visceral reaction, like a really bad reaction. They don't want the collective to yeah, like it's shock, like go into basically shock, like trauma response, because waking up is traumatic. That's why they gave us the Matrix in the 90s, to try to slowly wake us up to the reality of the Matrix. I don't know why this is coming to me, but I wanted to say this because maybe somebody needs to hear this. Maybe you're watching and you're a mom or something, but I am going forward, be incorporating a lot more things of sharing what I'm doing right now, because I feel like I needed this type of help from people, and as I had to stumble and figure out certain things, I want to share them like as it's occurring, and not something like, in hindsight and have to remember back, but tools that I'm using particularly. So like some resources, some tools for you. So in particular, I just used the word visceral, and then I found myself saying bad. I like reduced it, and I actually I'm only bringing this up to say that I teach my children big words. I heard somebody tell me that before. I teach them big words, not on purpose, not intentionally, but just how I speak, right? My pattern. And over the time, I learned. So I know, okay, visceral. I learned over time, like, this is something that I do. This is one of, like, how I figure out what words mean, because I actually have to go look up what visceral means. Okay, the visceral nervous system, relating to deep inward feelings rather than to intellect. Wow. Okay, this is such a learning moment. So, I said to you guys, like, the reason the government and different sectors and things are all occurring in the timeline and events that they are, and they seem drawn out or delayed in, like, even just solving problems or fixing problems, whatever. I said they don't want the general public to have a visceral reaction, and I was like, they don't really want them to have a bad reaction. And I'm only doing this because somebody needs to know this, and it's maybe not for a kid or a mom, but even as an adult, like, this is a word, like, when I typed in the word, what popped up was visceral fat. So you've probably heard that before, and it also popped up as relating to the viscera, which is the visceral nervous system. Okay. Or ventral. It's related to ventral. Okay. Anyways, it says it's similar to that. But visceral, is relating to deep inward feelings rather than to intellect. Now, off the head, I did not have that definition. But I've heard visceral reaction before. Like, you kind of got what I was saying, and then I used it again and said bad. A lot of people do that, and that's how I think I learned bigger words, like what they mean. Even if I never heard of it before, I relate parts of the word, or what I hear, like visceral is like, I don't know, I thought something in the body, like veins, right? It's related to the nervous system. So it's like a jerky reaction, a nerve reaction. And that's exactly what it means. So my point is, like, you don't have to know everything to present a certain way. So I try to speak in duality. And this goes back to that gender point. I have another gender point. In speaking in, like, big words and then simple words. And then, like, that gives a holistic you're teaching in the way I communicate. Like, I literally just speak like that because I learned big words like that. Like, I would hear it and I'm like, okay, I know that fits in a sentence. And before I even learn the definition, I'm using the word. If I know the context and I use it in the same context, I have communicated my smart lingo. I have communicated. So this is how I can shapeshift and different rooms with different people, because it's fun to speak simply and in abundance, as well as it's annoying sometimes too. But then it's like when I really want to like talk about something serious or, you know, intellectual, you want to be able to like parlay on that level. So I'm just on that for somebody who needed to know how to up the ante a little bit, level up to your vocabulary. And it doesn't even, so maybe just try that. Using words, replace the words, like almost like if you're trying to explain something to somebody and it's like maybe you think they don't get it and then you try to switch, like find another word that means that. You're like training yourself on words, I promise you. Anyway, totally digress, but for some reason somebody needed that. And if it was you, please comment and let me know, because I don't know why I felt like I had to put that in there. Who are we talking about? Okay, so I was saying, besides the words thing, like, I think, okay, inversions, and then we got to the clock being wrong. Okay, zodiac signs, and then we're wavering between these three signs collectively. That's what I was saying. So, oh, and I was saying with the word thing, the duality also. I am mixing it up. You have to go watch the last video about genders and duality, because I'm kind of pulling a little bit in here. So this is kind of like a part 2. But, yeah, everything. So I think we can see everything that has been told us, it being the opposite. There was a particular area that this applied to, which is what made me want to do the video. And now I can't remember. So forgive me. Hopefully this has been entertaining so far. Hey girl, how are you? Yeah, I mean, really for me it starts with up and down, left and right. Oh, okay. So gender. Because we as a society collective have really pushed that, like, men should be masculine, women should be feminine. And then, you know, some people are like, oh, we have masculine and feminine both, and the men are kind of like, no. And the women are like, no. Or yeah, we're more so yeah than no, because we accept kind of like we're more open to, on a collective, like if we look at what's happening collectively, the women are a little bit more open to men being feminine or masculine. Like, you know, there's an array. Now with the women, there's also an array. And a lot of people saying that women are way more masculine nowadays, obviously, right? And obviously men have become way more feminine. So I was hinting at in the last video about at the end of an age, end of a time, an empire, every time, the end of an age, basically, you have a switch in homogeny and hetero. Like, you'll see a rise of like just what's going on now. This is the exact same trend, like nothing new under the sun. Everything keeps going around. So when we are focused on duality, it's like one or the other, black and white, up and down. Like, but if we're healing collectively to be holistic, it's both. We need both, right? So everything you've been taught your entire life is a lie, basically. It's the opposite. And then you can't go full extreme, because again, you need both. You have to look at both. Well, we have had a strong left side programming. So like what's coming back online would be the right side of everything. And it's going to be nice to be right. But there's value in the left. So it's not like we do away with the left. We don't want to overcorrect. We've learned from going extreme to one side that we don't want to go extreme. But that's how a pendulum goes. We've come all the way over here. It's going to slowly bouillon back before it starts to level out into a holistic duality of both things going on at once. Yeah. Can you think of anything, please, D, that you know is the opposite or inverted? Like the food pyramid. I just thought of one. The food pyramid. Man, anybody who eats that many carbs, like, we're all suffering for it. It's just, it's not what we, it's, everything that was healthy that wasn't. At one point in time, we were promoting ads for cigarettes. Doctors were saying it was the thing to do. Then we find out it causes cancer. Like, everything's always inverted. Everything they tell us, then you turn around and you find out, or you see an ad, like, if you were a person who did this, call this number. You could be a part of a class action lawsuit. And yeah, it just keeps happening. I kind of want to go back to all the topics I was talking about in the last video. That's crazy. So I'm just going to do it, okay? This is just going to be part 2 then. Because I was talking about the shift. We feel this shift since the full moon up until now, Friday the 13th. And it's like we're up later. The energy feels that you have more energy. Do you have more energy? This last week, since, let's see, the 12th till about now. Let's see, the 10th, I think, 11th to about now, last couple days. Like, way more energetic energy. Like, I'm up later. I don't need as much sleep the last couple days for some reason. It doesn't taste as great as it probably looks. Oh, you're a good girl. Oh, up late. Mine are little. Sleep early. But yeah, it's been feeling like it's daytime at nighttime, kind of. I've had a few people noticing the difference, the shift in energy, or text me and ask me. But I feel like we're just in a different timeline, and this timeline has more to do with we're about to have another like layer ripped off of us, and this is the warning. And I think it's gonna have to do, like, I mean, come on, we hit health really hard in 2020. Like, that was a big, like, whoo, collective can opener. Yeah, that was a huge collective awakening for that. And then we fought just now another, like, on the politics side. There's a big split in politics, but I don't think the split's as big as people think in terms of, like, all this duality stuff. I think there are points on both sides, and people are sick of it, and they really are starting to see, like, I agree with this, and I agree with this. I agree with this, and I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this, and I do agree with this. And coming to a middle ground about it within themselves. Not to, like, all agree, but it's, so that has also taken us into, like, more sovereignty. The whole goal is everything collective sovereignty. So it's like we're going into more sovereignty. And now it's like people are just kind of like, ugh, I'm over that. Like, it's summertime. Here come the politicians, politricks. And it just I feel like we're moving into like very autonomous, like people are getting into doing what they want and remembering who they are, in the sense that it's not about relationships anymore. I think those are on the line. I really think people are. Have you had any relationship changes? Anything popping up? Like, this is serious. Like, I know a few people changing their relationships, but some people are getting hit really heavy and hard with this energy and having major wake-up calls. On the women's front of wake-up calls, as a collective, I'll just say it, women are delusional and have been delusional for some time, in that not really for what they want, but for not taking into account enough of what is, in considering what needs to be done to get what they want, and if it's possible to get what they want. Okay, so delusion, wake up. We're waking up as a collective. I think genders are on the line in this new shift, and women, hey, wake up if you haven't. And actually, I think we are. I think we're seeing it. I think y'all men have actually been podcasting us enough to death and seeing clips online of y'all's complaining that we do see a good bit of what you've been talking about, and we're kind of like done with the cycles of the dumb shit, I just want to say I'm just honored to be a part of the collective and able to experience this with. Because for all the knowing, for all the old souls on the planet, starseeds, things like that, like, we still get to be within and live in this play, if you will. We still all get to play. We get to play in this game of life, and it's a blessing. So back to the delusions of women, we are from a fantastical, magical place where anything is possible. And we all fell. Everybody fell in this place called Earth and have to work. That concept of work, some of our DNA doesn't remember that, okay? I'm just speaking from a true Leo's place. That, we use our mind to create that which we need created for us or done for us. Like, there's efficient ways to do everything. That's what I believe. Like, work smart, not hard. Anyway, so, however, we find ourselves as women here, okay? So females are here on the planet, and we haven't left our mystical desires when we got here, okay? That's still very much ingrained in us. It's very much ingrained in us with the things we like and we want and desire and need and think that you're capable of, and might be waking up to the fact that you might not be capable of it. Oh, dare I say it? Okay, on to the men. So, gentlemen. I am sorry to you, and I want to feel bad for you, but I'm searching for that because there's a lot of lack of accountability on your approach too. Maybe not so much for the delusion, but how you handled knowing that we were being emotionally delusional. the cost is heavy on both sides. That's all I can say. The cost is heavy on both sides. But I feel like gender is on the line. Like, the craziest thing is, I really, like I said, I think women are waking up. And I'm not sure what that means for all of us collectively. What does that mean for family? What does that mean for dynamics, households? Like, oh, man, society has done a number on us when it comes to independence. And what we used to rely on and needed, and like, then I really think about this marriage thing. Like, who was that for? Who created that? You know? I don't know. I really don't know who created that. So, because the benefits is like, some benefit, it's whoever makes it their benefit, to be honest. But because I'm not knocking something that is a desire of many, and many enjoy it, and many feel that they came here to engage in that, and that's fantastic. But the what is if we're looking at the statistics and the rates of success of that which we want. That's what I'm talking about, okay? I'm just talking about the rate of success of that which we want. And maybe there could be a change in our desires. Maybe a little bit, only because it is better to accept what is and do something with what is than to do something with what could be. And we're guilty of that a lot. So what is right now is kind of sad, okay? Not gonna lie. What is kind of sad. The question is it hopeless? You know, everybody is all out of sorts and outside of themselves, and I really feel like to even engage in relationships, you need to be whole. But as a society, like I just said, we've done this split of duality of this and that and everything being inverted. Like, no wonder we're fragmented completely. Both genders, everything is fragmented because everything is being done at a extreme inverse of the other. It's just, they say ideally two whole people come together, but let's talk about, like, collectively men being whole, collectively women being whole. Neither is whole. Neither is whole. And that leaves us to right where we are. Just like, somebody tell me I'm not crazy. Don't you feel like you were more of an adult when you were a child? Anybody else feel like that? Was that just me? Am I the only one going backwards here? But as a child, I felt like I was here figuring out, like, what's going on, how things run and stuff like that. But I felt like I didn't think adults had good sense. Like, it just didn't make sense. Like, why would y'all? There were so many questions, like today, the questions that I have worked my adult life to change, which is like, the lifestyle y'all are agreeing to sucks. And you see everybody else doing it and it sucks. But you still want to do the same thing. That sucks. So from very early, I was determined to do different stuff. Like, anyway. So, but in that path, I saw why it got hard. And I think that's why I made decisions that, as you get older, seem like the wrong things. And now I see why my younger self thought that my older self would have been kind of like, you know, like, it happened to me too. So, I don't know. Please let me know your thoughts, you know. But everything is inverted. And so I am proposing this as something to use to help you solve some problems in your life. Like, literally, if something If you hold a belief and it was created from your environment, society, something you've seen, other people, like anything besides it came from within, anything outside yourself, consider the inverse being truth and see where it takes you. Just like go down that path. So if you can think of any idea right now, type it so I can go down that path with you. But the only idea I have right now, for some reason, is the north-south thing, and I did the clock. So I said we know the calendars changed and were wrong and all types of stuff like that. So we already know about that. I had so many different ideas that I was like, I'm going to have to do a separate video about everything that's inverse. And now I'm here and I'm on here. And that's all I can think of right now. So, more will come to me. I'll do another one. But I think relationships is kind of the topic anyways up on the chopping board for this energy, this time. I definitely think consider what you can do for yourself. And then protect what you can do for yourself. And depending on what gender you are, right? Then, only then, do you consider what you can share. Yeah, what you can share. Consider what you can share only after you have enough for self and you're fully sustained, right? We're not saying, no, I'm not going to get into that, because I would give each person different advice, each gender different advice in that regard. So, gosh, go watch the last video, because I gave a really powerful tool also about masculine and feminine energy. And you gotta use that. You gotta use that, and that's the thing I was saying here. Things being inverted, bringing them to the middle makes it whole. It's just, I don't know. I'm sure you guys have seen other things floating around, other content talking about women and men a lot lately. I have. And everybody, I think, is being upgraded to a degree. There's a new neural pathway. This was coming. There's a new neural pathway that's been accessed by us collectively. And we're remembering. The women are remembering. The women are remembering. And I hope the men are remembering. I'm not seeing it. That doesn't mean it's not happening, right? But I am seeing the women show up with a new aha or a new awareness. I hear the same rhetoric so far from the men, but it doesn't mean that there's not a conversion happening. Now, based on some universal laws that I know and understand, there could be a decline happening with the men in the sense of things that are the energetic you feel right now might not be so. Mama's home. Mama is home, y'all. And this isn't a fear thing, but it's like some of the gender ideas are being revealed. Some of the gender psyop type pushes to the collective are being revealed. And this is another part or the next layer of unearthing the systematic matrix. This is going to pull apart what's next to be dismantled. And I believe that is contracts, marriage. 7th house topics is what's up next for an awakening. Oh yes, right after health, the 6th house. Whoo! Did y'all notice what's going on in the collective by the houses of the zodiac? Golly. 2020 was some heavy 6th house stuff. And that went on for a while. And in fact, one of my fave astrology friends says, and I'm going to send this to you, you know who you are. The 6th house leads to the 8th house of death. What happens in the 6th house, which rules the body, the digestive system specifically, skin, the digestive, the organs, Virgo type energy, 6th house. What happens there leads to what kills you in the 8th house, your death. And on a collective, 2020 we went through some real 6th house stuff, and it led to a lot of people exiting out, contracts being broken, and they exited 8th house style. So again, I see a 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8. Just like I mentioned, the Pisces, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Pisces, Aquarius. This is the 6th house, 7th. You're affected by what happened in 2020. It affected your relationships. Maybe your business is shut down. 6th house contracts, business contracts. 7th, 8th. Some people didn't make it. Okay. Some people transformed their health. 6. Now, collectively, those who made it, we leveled up. Here comes the next. I don't want to say hoax, psyops. What I want to say is what is necessary for us to dismantle the matrix and level up. And sometimes that requires some. Did you learn the lesson? Do you have discernment? Because AI is here, guys. Y'all are still thinking some influencers are legit because they say a lot of truthful things and they present well. Or they show a flashy light. Like, if you didn't already figure out after last year, every single major large influencer that shows you a flashy life is full of shit. You failed your test. You missed it. You can't level up with us on the discernment level. So, like, on the discernment level, okay, if you figured out that most of those people you followed, and you probably still follow them, and that's okay. But you know, okay, I like them for this. I can clearly see that it ain't this, okay? So it's just about discernment, having more discernment. So the next major is 7th house topics, businesses, and this is a great opportunity for AI to strengthen contracts, right? Rewrite contracts, make smarter contracts, and y'all don't play with these videos. These are like full channels and good stuff. This is like telling you where to go and what's coming and what's profitable, and you know, yeah, 7th house type things, and relationships and understanding. What did I say about the inverse and duality, right? If we're talking about relationships, whatever was missing in the other side, and bringing that into a holistic thing, that's what a smarter contract is. What else is contracted? Marriages. We need smarter contracts. So women are waking up that marriage is a contract. It is not some ride off in the sunset with a Prince Charming lovey-dovey thing. It is not. It is protection and provision for our children. we have to stop what we're doing and do the inverse, do the opposite. Now, I don't know where you took that literally. Let me walk through it with you because it needs to make sense. It has to be rational and logical. But for the most part, at least observe it and look at it that way and see where will the opposite get you. I'm not just telling everybody to run out and do the opposite and you didn't put your whole... Don't stop a full running train to go the opposite way. I'm just saying, don't be catalytic with this, but be smart with this, right? I think just collectively we're having more discernment. I think women want to do a little more again, and not in a like, oh, feminism, women's way, work. Everybody's done work. In a second, AI is going to take your job, okay? So that's just the tea, okay? Spill the beans. The thoughts are, what do I do outside of work now? What does life look like? And to be honest, collectively, we need to heal. So, like, it looks like a lot of self-care. It looks like a lot more regulating nervous systems on the planet, because that's what's out of whack. Our nervous system, the planet's nervous system, Mother Nature's nerves are like, get the frack off me, little kids. Y'all is selfish. Y'all are inconsiderate. You litter. You don't take care of me. You don't share. You fight each other all day. Get off. I'm tired. I just get off. So, just consider that everything is inverse. Either way, I'm going to be here. My aunt Starseed. I'm going to be here for a while. I am going to be placing these back on YouTube. Happy to see you guys again. Happy to interact with you again. I'm working out my schedule. I will probably be live a lot at nighttime. And I'll post still for you to see them during the day if you can't be up here with me. Let me know your topics you'd like me to cover next. So, in the comments, or things you want to walk through and talk through with me. This is a great space to do it. Yes, it is with everybody else. If that's the problem, I do private consultations. That is my business, and I am back in business officially. So, website to come that's being worked on. It's actually already up. I just have to tweak it and make some changes. But once that's delivered, I'll be letting y'all know, and then I'll have like a topics and schedules, and it might, I haven't decided yet, might go based on, you know, the moon cycles, sun, different things, astrology, obviously. But I also have now Mom Astrology, which is solely all astro, mom, children type stuff. And so if you like that and you're interested in that, I am going to keep it on the same YouTube channel. I decided that today. But I will have a like a folder for specifically the Mom Astrology stuff. So if that's what you're looking for, you can go straight to it. But other than that, I think I covered too many other topics to just pull away from my regular YouTube. So I'm going to keep my main channel, and have a sub folder for the Mom Astrology stuff. But that is exciting stuff. If you want to follow me on Instagram on Mom Astrology 101, where I tell you about your little ones and their signs. And I'm at baby, little people, but we're going to go up to, you know, teenagers and keep going. But that's to help you with your dynamic and relationship with your children, and especially while they're in the household with you, because that is, pivotal times. You want to see what they're doing. You want to help them by knowing their chart. That's important. And then outside of knowing your children's charts, and how you can support times that pop up for them, that's going to be, a abundant time or stardom, whatever, different, their gifts, when it will be highlighted to pour into those gifts, and all types of stuff like that. And even after they're out of the house, because the brain, children still need their parents, very much so, for a very long time, but they're still developing even till 26, 27 for men, I believe. So, there are still important times, and, next, just like we cared about 18, 21, there are certain, times in children's lives where it's helpful to be aware. So I have Momstrology 101 for that. And I will be here talking to you guys about regular life. And balancing regular life. Like, mostly my focus this year is on tools, self-care, tools and self-care. Okay. But because I really am in a different place. I'm in ease, and being in ease means being, what do we say? Drama free? No chaos. Out of chaos. Chaos free this year. Okay. So, my topics might feel lighter. Okay. Than my Dark Night of the Soul videos in the past. Thank goodness, right? So, hi Nate, thanks for joining me. I was just about to get off, but this video is very much so inverse anything you can think of, any topic you can give me that we've been taught in society a certain way, and we're going to explore it in the opposite way, right? And my example was like the north, south, east, west thing, like how I think it was really reversed. And then if the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, that means it's always going counterclockwise. And does that mean the clock is wrong from going forward versus backwards? Okay, that was my example. So if you can think of another one, we can walk through and see the inverse. If you get that. But, yeah, definitely chaos free for real. It's a vibe. I don't know. Like, I really... You got to go back and watch because you missed a good bit, but I don't want to be redundant for those who have stuck around and watched. But the timeline shift, this energy, it feels good. I don't know. It's a learning energy. We're all learning. I think the collective has, as I mentioned earlier, like I think there's some kind of new neural pathway that has opened up to help allow us to level up in the area of relationships, to actually really see where we've been going really wrong. We've been going really, really wrong. And I don't know, there's no better time such as now, they say. And that now time could be the women taking their place in the sense of divine mothers. Like, we have been programmed to focus on relationships, bottom line. But like, from a healthy place, like, my relationship with everyone is valuable, and to be a healthy example, I have to have healthy time frames and balances throughout my day with different people, with no people sometimes. You can't go too far on the alone time, because then you're not really practicing healthy relationships, are you? Because the relationship with self is important. But it's not the same as a relationship with something outside of yourself, because all other relationships are outside yourself. So you're managing all these relationships and you're just one of those relationships. So your relationship with yourself should come first, but it should be in balance. That don't be afraid to interact in relationships. That's why we're here. That's why we came. That's how you grow, in practicing relationship building interactions. Somebody don't fuck with you, oh well, try again. Maybe think, review it. Could it have been this? The thing is, you don't really know. You just keep being authentic, and then make sure you're doing self-checks for awareness or areas that you can grow. Work on those places that you can grow. I feel like I'm collecting here a little bit. This is all stuff that I think we all know, and you already know, and you probably heard other people saying that. So I don't want to repeat stuff or be redundant or say things that but I really just came to say that I think women are waking up in a collective way. That's the energy I feel with relationships. Not centering them, not maybe caring so much about them. It's been a slow open though. It's been a slow, this has been brewing. But it's been brewing under the health awakening. There's been a massive awakening when it comes to health. And right under that and wanting to be healthy is mental health, right? And so emotional health, emotional intelligence has risen a little bit. I feel like people's emotional intelligence has risen a little bit. Dang, I can't say what I just thought of. Sorry. Because I don't... Let me channel and see really if this is a collective thought. I really felt like just my opinion. And then I only have my experiences, right? And so when I speak about the collective, I don't like to use my experience in those statements. So that's where that was coming from. Because my experience, my personal experience, might not be vast enough to even touch what most people are experiencing. Although we all have certain areas where obviously other people can relate to you. But there's going to be a statement about men. And I don't know that this is what's happening for them. So I have to really tap into what's truth for the collective. What's truth for the collective. So, I do. I feel it. I feel like they're all going through shit. Sorry. I feel like you all are. I feel like a lot of you guys are going through shit. I said it. Because women are waking up a little bit everywhere. And it's not just because of that. It's like, y'all are also a little bit programmed and delusional too about what you expect from women. And not just what you expect from women. What you expect from women. Okay, this is a tough one because I have children too. And this is the beauty of being a woman, to be honest, is that we birth you, men. I have had a male inside of me. That sounds horrible. Please don't clip that out. But, I grew a human male. That sounds better. Okay. A male doesn't have it might have some zinc, potassium, some of the elements concoction to contribute to making a female in the sperm. But outside of that, I have care for both male and female because I have cared for male and female, if that makes sense. That's all I mean. I don't want to take it any further than that. That's really all I'm saying. Is like, I have empathy for both myself and the male species. Okay. In a very healthy way. I just want to add that in there. So yeah, I think that y'all, this is just if mama has an awakening, the children have an awakening, everybody has an awakening. The neural pathways shifts the behavior of women because of our physiological way we're made. And when our behavior shifts, it is much like the bees. It affects the whole planet. And I think the trickle down is happening to men. Now, I just explained why it would be a trickle down from just the biology of women to men. But I think that's one of those inverse. There's one. Gender. Inverse. All of religion puts the man over the woman. Leaves the woman out the story completely when we're talking about the deities. Or the deity, one, money, whichever religion. This goes across the world, right? The woman has been left out of doctrine. We found missing, stripped. Like, we're stripped out, right? And we know this is about the return of the feminine. But as I mentioned before, the return of something, we don't want to go to the other extreme. And what's returning to women is remembering. Everybody is collectively remembering over the years. We keep remembering the truth. Besides what we're being told, we're remembering that this doesn't fit. This isn't right. We're humans. We can think. Okay? Now, not only can we think, the healthier we get, the vaster our thoughts, the faster our thoughts get. And with us as women having higher consciousness thoughts or waking up to relational delusions, the behavior will shift, the culture will shift in every culture, because this is an every culture thing, the planet. And it's a temperature change, and not everybody can handle the temperature. That's kind of all I want to say. That can even fit for cultures and race too, you know, but really men and women and nature. And how symbiotic we've been in nature. So when women get back to being symbiotic in nature, there's a very natural defense mechanism that it has to protect itself. Mother Earth is not anywhere close to dead at all. In fact, I likened it earlier in the conversation to like the little kids, get off me. Like, y'all are acting childish up there fighting, throwing up, being selfish. No, you know, just being annoying. Okay? So, she's nowhere near, she has her defense mechanisms, is what I'm saying. And we're not above them as the human race. So, not being above them. I feel like, y'all, as I sit here, I feel like humidity has just changed my entire hairstyle since I've been sitting here. Like, these were some curls a little bit. Excuse me. Yeah. And now I don't know what those are. But I think I've made this, I didn't know it was 12 o'clock, so I made this kind of long. I'm gonna go ahead and see y'all in the next one. But Again, look forward to all the Momstrology stuff. Momstrology 101 on Instagram. This type of message, I came to my Moon Aqua page because I like to give Aquarius rules future. And I know if you're not into all that, we are in the Aquarius age. That's just what we call this age and time. So it is also known as the information age. So that's another way to say all access to information, okay, across the timeline. So we have access to all kinds of information. And this is why I picked this page for that, because these are y'all are my thinkers. Okay, so this will go on YouTube as well, and you can check it out there. Send this around, share it, comment, let me know what you think. Help me carry on the conversation, whatever direction you want me to take it. I, being Mayat, don't like to pick sides, but I think we need all sides to have a holistic view. Okay? Love you, peoples, and I'm out.